So welcome to another video. This is Wild Unfiltered. Why the name? Because Wild is my name, and Unfiltered because this is a safe space for all of us to talk about anything and everything that we want to. So welcome to everyone. So this video comes off the back of the last video, which was when I was looking at the bags I wouldn't buy again. I then started to look at the bags I have bought again. And I know loads of people have done a video based on buying duplicates of the same thing. So I thought I'd jump onto that. And so I'm not just going to talk about bags, I'm going to talk about all different types of items. So these are the types of things that when you find something you love, you end up buying it a few times. Or so maybe I'm going to talk about some things that I've bought the exact same thing again, even though I still have one. I'm going to talk about things that I've bought exact same thing but in a different colour. And I'm going to talk about things that I've bought the same type of thing but maybe a different size of the same thing. So it'll all become clear. I'm going to do cutaways again because I thought it was the easiest way rather than having all the items and trying to show you on a small screen. So yeah, so it's going to be bags, ready to wear, accessories, things like that. So let's get going. So what bags have I bought duplicates of? Well, the first one, let's talk Hermes. Yeah, it's my absolute passion. So yeah, it is one of those certain ones, not everyone. I think in my last video of bags that I said I wouldn't be buying again, I mentioned the Birkin 35. So on the flip side, this is a couple of bags from Hermes that I have bought the exact same thing more than once. So let's talk Birkin. So the Birkin 30, so again I'm going to put some cutaways here or up here or however I do it. And yeah, the Birkin 30 for me is the absolute perfect size and I absolutely adore it. And I wouldn't rule out adding more if I can possibly get my hands on another one at some point in the future. Yeah, my first Birkin was this absolutely beautiful blue Birkin, and again I'll do a cutaway. So this is the colour Blue Onk, which is, I think it translates to blue ink, and you can see it's actually a perfect name for this colour. It's a blue, but it's definitely got an undertone of purple. So I would call it like, it's nearly like an indigo colour in my view. In some lights it can look a little bit more purpley. Most of the time it looks like a darkish blue. It's just stunning. And yeah, when I was offered this, I was absolutely yes. So this wasn't one that was on my wish list. I just happened to be in London and I called in to see my SA in London, and he said, oh, I don't have anything for you just at the moment. And I said, no, I'm just here to say hello. I'm not asking for anything. I had something on my wish list, which I knew would take a while, and I'm quite happy to wait however long it takes. And so he said, I can't grant your wish right now, but I do have something I can offer you. And I was saying, okay. And he produced this bag, and myself and my husband were both, Andrew was like, you've got to get that. It's just once I got the Birkin 30, that was it. I was in love. It's just the perfect size. So yeah, on my wish list next came well, a few bags forward, but my next Birkin 30, then I managed to get the absolutely beautiful Etupe, and again I'll do some cutaways here. I love a neutral bag. You know, my collection's very neutral. A lot of the clothes, outfits I wear very neutral. I don't wear a lot of patterns and or bright colours, although I'm experimenting a little bit. But I just thought Etupe was a beautiful, just a beautiful colour, a very classic Hermes colour. I like the contrast stitching. Anyway, I love it. I wouldn't have 30 Birkins. There's no need to have 30 bags, is there? Really, no need for any of these things. However, that is one that I have gravitated to and probably wouldn't say no to another one. Maybe if I ever get the chance of a special order, maybe I would have to go for a, I don't know. Anyway, if we ever come to that, I might have to do a video on what on earth do I choose, because there's so many options. But I think a Birkin 30 is always my favourite, so that's the first one that I have bought again. The second bag that I've bought duplicates of is the Kelly. So again, I was very fortunate in order to be granted my first wish, which was to be offered my absolute #1 dream bag, which was the Kelly 28 Retourne in Togo leather in Itan. I'm a grey lover. I would have virtually every bag in grey if I could. I gravitate to it. I love it. I think it goes with everything. I'm a neutrals girl, what can I say? And I'll put some pictures of the Kelly here, and I just love this bag. But the Kelly's so stunning, and I was determined I wanted a black Kelly afterwards, and finally I did get my wish on that one. So again, I'll do some cutaways of that. So yes, I've got duplicates of the Kelly 28, both Retourne, both Togo leather, so one in Itan and one in black, both with palladium hardware. So yeah, I love the Kelly. I don't know if I probably wouldn't buy another 28. I would love a 25, maybe in a Cellier, so it looks completely different. But I did go back and buy another 28, so that's the second bag that I did buy a duplicate of. Third bag that I've bought a duplicate of, so it's sort of the same but different. I've got 2 book totes, so again I'll show some cutaways here, but these are different as in I bought the different sizes. So I bought the smaller one, so it was a small book tote, and I think it's now classed as the medium book tote, and as soon as I got that, I realised really it's beautiful, and I was so happy with it. But very, very short time after, I was really after the big size and wished I'd just got the big size. And I love that bag. So the reason I bought a duplicate is because I realised the small one, which is now the medium, was actually quite small, and you don't actually fit that much in it because it's very scooped at the edges. So I wished I'd just bought the large one. So yeah, I did buy a duplicate of it. I won't be buying any more. Another bag that I've bought a duplicate of is the Lady Dior, and again I mentioned this in the previous video. I bought the medium size with the zip, and then I wished I'd bought one with the flap opening, or I wished I'd waited until there was one with the flap opening available. So then I bought the small size in the red, which is a very beautiful bag, because I actually thought it's actually not much different size, as in you can still fit a similar amount in it, but it's a lot easier to use. So there's a reason I bought a duplicate. I was trying to buy a better version of the one I'd got, rather than, same with the book tote. It wasn't because I loved it so much I wanted it in another colour. It was I wanted to get one that was easy to use. So both of these are sort of this category, but not exactly. But it is something that I went back and bought again. So shoes. So I have bought, and I'm going to do some high street and some designer here. So we'll start with the designer. So I bought some Gucci Princetown loafers, I think the mules. I'll put a cutaway here. I'll put a picture from the website because mine are absolutely battered. I'll show some cutaways as well. And the reason they are so battered is because I have worn them to death. So particularly the black ones. So I bought the black ones, and it took me a long time to invest in them because I thought I can buy loafers from anywhere. Why on earth would I pay that amount for some Gucci ones? And I kept going and trying them on, and I wasn't sure. And anyway, bit the bullet. I have worn them so much I can't even tell you. They are probably my favourite pair of shoes, even though they're just flat loafers. All of my family think they're horrible. Andrew thinks they're horrible. The girls think they're horrible. I love them, and I still wear them. And when these are completely dead and gone, I'll be buying another pair because in the black, because they are so good. They are that good. I did buy a duplicate, as in I bought the beige colour. Really, I was really hoping they'd bring them out in a grey, because obviously I wear grey all the time. I've got a million grey bags, and they never came out in a grey, but they did come out in this really beautiful neutral, which works really well with both my Atoop Birkin and also my Capucines, Louis Vuitton Capucines in, I think it's called Gallet. I have to say I haven't used the neutral ones half as much, just because the black are just easier. They're easier for me to style, they're easier for me to wear even when it's going into autumn, winter. I don't know, all year round I wear black shoes, and I just think they work with everything. So yeah, I just absolutely love them. So yes, I have 2 pairs, one neutral, one black, and I will be buying more of those. And as I say, if they come out in a grey, I'm there. If not, I'll wait until my shoes are falling apart, then I'll buy some more black ones. But I love them. Okay, so the next pair of shoes that I've bought duplicates of, now these are high street, but they are, I suppose, what you call high-end high street, as in they're not cheap at all. So it's Russell and Bromley. I love Russell and Bromley. I just think the shoes are really well made. I think they're comfortable, just lovely quality, and they are expensive, but they're not designer prices. They're not like Manolo prices or Jimmy Choo or Louboutin. And again, I'll do cutaways. So I bought some ballet flats. I've always loved a ballet flat, but they seem to have gone out of fashion a little bit. I don't care about trends. I wear what I like, and I wear what I'm comfortable in and what I think suits me. So I've worn ballet flats the whole time really, but however, they seem to be having a little bit of a comeback. And I found these ballet flats in Russell and Bromley, and again, I'll do a cutaway of mine and a bigger picture if I can find them or whatever. And yeah, I bought the black and nude pair because I've got so many black pairs of shoes. It's like, how many? And of course, I just talked about the Gucci ones. Yeah, they're black and they're flat black shoes. So I thought, let's go for something different. And they are so comfortable, honestly. They are so comfortable. So not long after, I went back and got the black ones. And I just wear them all the time. I just think they're really handy. They're really comfortable. They look very Chanel-esque. Don't get me wrong, they look very Chanel-esque, and I'm sure that's what they're influence from. But I personally don't see me buying any Chanel flats, ballet flats, because they can't be as comfy as the Russell and Bromley ones. They just can't be. These are super comfy and they're beautifully made, and I was going to say they're half the price, and they're not half the price. They're probably a quarter of the price. And then I've also bought these sandals. Again, I'll do some cutaways. Oh my goodness. If you want a pair of sandals that are high, still high, so you can wear them with certain outfits to get that height, to get that leg length and all the rest of it, but you want to be able to be on your feet, these are the things. They are super comfortable for high shoes. They've got a bit of a platform, they're very sandally. I went for the black because I thought black goes with everything. I've got a lot of black dresses, and if we're going out for dinner and you've got a bit of a walk to and from wherever, we tend to walk into town from where we are, there's no way I can walk for any length of time in some of the, like the Louboutin heels and things like that. These sandals are amazing. They are so comfortable. I wore them to my friend's 50th birthday celebration in London, and we went to, it was called Amazonica, and it was amazing. We had an amazing time, but we spent a lot of time prior to that we went to a couple of bars, and we also went into the private members club within Amazonica, and we were literally, they're just high tables, and you just stood around and dancing and everything else, and I did absolutely great. And then at the end of then we had the meal, and at the end we could not get a taxi, and we ended up walking quite a long way to another street in order to then eventually we found a taxi. But I was on my feet all night and they were absolutely fine. So yes, they're not quite the sexy shoe that the Louboutins are, or quite as show-stopping as the Manolos, but if you know you're going to be on your feet but you still want a heel and something a bit strappy, oh, I love these so much. So I went back and I said, what other colours do you have in them? And I bought the like an ivory. Again, I'll do a cutaway. I wanted a light coloured one because I thought they'd be really good for holiday, and I didn't want a black pair for holiday, and so I bought these white stroke ivory, off-white colour ones. So again, yeah, when you're wanting to wear something a bit more summery, yeah, I'm back and forward to Russell and Bromley. So yeah, I absolutely love those accessories. I've mentioned in a few things that I haven't bought a lot of SLGs. I've been very sensible and very good with SLGs, not very sensible with pouches. So yeah, I've got a thing about them. I think Emma's the same with this, although she's far worse than me. But the thing I've bought duplicate of is these Hermes pouches, and these are, I think these are called the Neoban pouch, and the ones I've got are actually slightly different, but let's assume they're not, just for purposes of this video. So I've got the large one, which is a 30cm one, which is, I've used that so much. It's a perfect wash bag for travel. It's a perfect pouch to take with you down to the pool, to the beach, when you're on holiday, or if you're going to a spa, anything like that where you want to keep your bits in one place, but it's not so precious that you can't take it onto a beach or by the pool. It doesn't matter if it gets wet, all those things, but it's still a really nice pouch. And the price of them actually, particularly for Hermes prices, they're actually very good. I think they both were under 200, which for nothing in Hermes is that price, is it? So you feel like you've got a little bit of luxury, but it's really, really practical. And so particularly the bigger one, I had to go for orange. I love orange, and of course it's Hermes. I use it as a bit of a catch-all inside other bags because I don't like really to use bag organisers because they structure the bag too much for me. I like quite a slouchy look on most of my bags. I don't want to make it look more structured. So yeah, I've used the pouches to protect the inside of my bags and also to keep things in one place. So I bought a duplicate of this in a smaller size, some of my smaller bags. So yeah, it just made sense to buy two of those. My two are slightly different. I'll do some cutaways. My two are slightly different. One is more slightly silky, and one's more, I would call more scuba material. One's got embossing on it, one's got printing like Hermes on it. So they are slightly different, but essentially the same thing. The construction of them is the same. Bought them at slightly different times, so different seasons of things. So not exactly the same, but a duplicate type thing. The only other thing I can think of that I have a duplicate of is the Hermes H belt. So I think it's classed as the Constance belt. So it's the one with the H buckle. And I bought my first one in Palladium hardware, because as I say, I love both hardwares. I was buying it in readiness for matching to my manifested Kelly that I had in my brain, that I really wanted a tan. So I bought the belt with black on one side because it's reversible, so black leather on one side and a tan leather on the other side with palladium, because that's what I wanted. I wanted a tan with palladium as my first ever Hermes bag, which is the one I got. I'm so fortunate. So yeah, I bought that belt. In my head I needed a gold belt. I managed to get a strap that was a taupe on one side and like an off-white. It was probably like a Nata or a Cray. I think it's Cray on the other side. So actually that worked really well. So it means in effect I've got 4 belts now. I've got black, grey, well black, a tan, a taupe and an off-white, and I've got a silver and gold buckle so that I can have 4 different looks. Ready to wear duplicates that I wanted to mention. The first one is the Balmain blazer, so I bought the black with gold. So the black with gold buttons, adore that, absolutely feel, again I've talked about this, not feeling very nice in clothes most of the time, and the Louis Vuitton coat that I mentioned in another video actually makes me feel quite nice when I wear it. And when I first got the Balmain blazer, I felt exactly the same. Then I went out and bought the exact same thing in navy, because they're so different, black and navy, aren't they? However, in my defence, the navy blazer with a white shirt or a white t-shirt with jeans and my blue onk Birkin, I'm sorry, there's no nicer outfit. And it looks nicer with that outfit than it does with black. So in my defence, there's a reason behind all of it. However, the bad news is I can't fit into either blazer at the moment. However, here's hoping. I love those blazers so much. They are so fitted, and I've talked about this in another video. I'm quite broad shouldered, but I've got quite a thin waist for my body shape, or for my size if you like. So I find it hard to find something that fits on the shoulders that isn't then just too big and baggy. And the size of the blazers that I have, I'll find what they are and I'll put them on the screen, but I think they equate to a UK 16 and they are still quite snug on me. So I'm not going to do cutaways because I literally can't get them on. They won't go up my arms. I will try, and if they're even worth putting a cutaway, I will, but I don't think I can fit into either at the moment. But I will get there. And even when I got down to I think I was about a size 12 when I bought them both. And as I say, I'm pretty sure it equates to a UK 16, and they fit me when I was a size 12 in most of the things. So for me, the size of them is crazy small. Maybe because I'm quite broad, but I don't know anybody who's bought them who's bought true to size. So please correct me if I'm wrong, put down below. It may be that I'm particularly broad, I don't know, but everybody that I've spoken to who has them has had to go up at least 1 size. So in my case, I went up 2 sizes, and now I'm a UK 14 generally, and they're far too snug. So if I can get down maybe another stone or so, I'll probably be back in them. And as soon as I'm back in them, I will be wearing them because I absolutely adore them. So yeah, I think that's the end of the video. I've got quite a few things that I've duplicated. There's a lot. I've also thought of a few other things I have duplicates of. Nanushka skirt, Nanushka shirt, Sweaty Betty items, and also the Click H bracelets from Hermes. Anyway, I could go on forever, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I might see you in another one.